Good morning and welcome to the new edition of My Life Comments. This Saturday, an event took place. An event that is replicated millions of times every day for ordinary people. But this time, this event did not happen with ordinary people. It was a would-be king 6 times removed and a fourth lead actress who got hitched together, with a lead actress having been wed and divorced before, and the would-be king, provided 6 incumbents expire in the meantime, had 2 earlier liaisons who were also present at the wedding. This wedding, the so-called royal wedding, took place on Saturday. I would definitely have expected people to have been glued. But when I saw momentarily when I watched TV, that there were thousands of people lining the stage to catch a glimpse of the boy and the girl, or an experienced young man, middle-aged man, and still more experienced, his middle-aged lady, I was amazed that the people were there. And not only there were thousands of the people lining the stage, but there were millions of people glued to their TV sets. And the TV commentators had the heyday flying to London so that then they can report step-by-step activities. Was it that important that the other burning issues of the day, North Korea, Iran, Israel, India, Japan, Australia, and the things were happening that day, and all was relegated to the background in the celebration of this wedding? What was so special about it? As I said, Prince Harry is a 6th times removed king of England, and his young nephew, or rather young niece, who was born 3 weeks back, supersedes him in the order of priority of being the ruler of England. Evidently, there is no hope that he would be able to survive these 6 people and yet become a king. Secondly, whatever the capabilities may be, and I'm not here to judge the capabilities of Merkel, but a divorcee getting married should normally have not been encouraged. I agree that she has a right to marry, and both of them have a right to marry each other. But their royal traditions were once again vitiated. There was a time when a king who wanted to marry a divorced American lady, Mrs. Simpson, had to leave his kingdom. And here's another divorced woman who is welcome. But coming back to that fact, why this marriage was celebrated at this grand scale, and why were the people attracted towards it? The cost of the marriage is $43 million. $43 million, and his elder brother's marriage cost was $7.8 million. Out of this $43 million, $37 million was spent on security by the government of United Kingdom. The government of United Kingdom doesn't have money of its own. It's the taxpayers' money, which was spent on this wedding, which was graced by all the people from the screen, TV, And there were no political figures. As a matter of fact, there should not be political figures. It's a personal affair of Prince Harry and Meghan. But why this whole paraphernalia of the state should have been drawn in? And what made the people attract? People are attracted primarily for two reasons. One is the hype that the prince or a former actress, though fourth lead actress of a TV serial Suits, were getting married, getting hitched. Now, as I said, millions of marriages take place every day where they love each other and they get married. So still why the people are attracted? A, because of the hype created by the media and the presumption as if the marriage of the prince would have a major impact on the people. Nothing of that was likely to happen. As I said, the prince has no constitutional or regal rights. So he was created the Duke of Sussex, and Meghan becomes the Duchess of Sussex. Thus far and no further. Now comes the second part. Royalty is revered, respected because of the traditions. Nothing else. It plays no role and it is most ineffective as far as the day-to-day governance of the people is concerned, but still it's a center of attraction for one reason only. It imparts a certain sense of stability. It's a ballast in the rocking ship of the political governance. So therefore, I accept it. But this prince has, as I said, no connection, at least the connection, if any, to the future governance of the island called Great Britain is concerned, is 6 times removed. So there is no doubt. Secondly, it violates the canons of the British system. We always say that the British system is based on traditions. And here 2 major traditions have been violated. The first was that the divorcee was getting married to a prince, and that was accepted as normal, which it was not. Secondly, she did not belong to Anglican Catholic Church. Now suppose Prince Harry becomes the King of England, there'll be a problem again. Because one of the titles of the King or the Queen of England is Defender of the Faith. The King or the Queen, at present the Queen, maybe someday a King, is supposed to be the head of the church, the Anglican Church. When Henry VIII broke from Catholic Church, he did not join Protestantism, but he established his own church, the Anglican Church, the Church of England. It's nowhere else. And the Anglican Church, being the ruling church in England and in Commonwealth, she, the Queen, or the Queen would be called the Defender of Faith. And one of the parts of the Defender of Faith is, or rather one of the laws or the traditions which has been followed is that no person belonging to any other faith except the Anglican Church shall be married into the royal family. So from the tradition point of view, both the marriages should not have been accorded such prominence. I'm not against marriage. I'm against the prominence and the wastage of the money on the marriage, which violates the traditions of the royalty. Secondly, the Queen has been practically coerced into agreeing to this marriage. Looking at the sad face of the Queen, and she did not participate, there was not a smile on her face. I agree the kings and the queens are not supposed to smile. But here at least there could have been a sense of happiness which was visible on the face of Prince William, Prince Charles, the Duke of Wales, but not on the Queen. This was something amazing. But as I said, she was coerced into accepting it. And Queen is a traditionalist. She couldn't tolerate it. Then immediately another thing happened. The morning the marriage was there. In the evening the reception of Prince Charles was there. And the ladies of the royalty are not supposed to have sleeveless dress. And Meghan was wearing a gown which was sleeveless. From her shoulders down, all the arm was visible. While according to the royalty, that is strictly no. As a matter of fact, when she went to meet the Queen and she was having tea with her, I have on a very reliable source that she did not hold the saucer and the cup prescribed by the royal system, and she was taught by the Queen how to hold the cup and the saucer. Well, that was okay within the confines of the boudoir of the Queen, where two were having tea. But again, revealing the arms is against the tradition. So 3 traditions were broken in this marriage. Now let's come to the relevance of the marriage and why the people were going gaga. A, for them it was a spectacle of the century. They go to the movie for 3 hours or 2 hours to forget their worries. Maybe this Saturday they thought that this so-called concocted fairy tale may be a respite from their dull, dreary routine. But could it not have been used in a more useful way? Going for a walk on the beach or going into a jungle to have the fresh air, rather than cluttering the streets of London or sitting around the idiot box. Then the economic aspect. $43.5 billion is not something to be sneezed at. Especially when the major portion of that expense is borne by the taxpayer. Did this in any way impact the common people's life? No. As a matter of fact, this money could have been used for other better purposes. And it could have been used as a charity purpose, and the name of the prince could have been used with that. I'm amazed that such events are accorded this much of status in the print media and in the idiot box, and the people are glued to that, at the cost of other relevant factors. At the same time when this was happening, in India we had a new virus breakout in Kerala. And if that virus spreads, it will be a disaster. I think that this disaster, this virus, which has been detected in Kerala, where if you have a pet and the pet is suffering, you will contact that. And 3 people have died. Even one nurse who was attending on that one died already. And there was no discussion of that. Hawaii is burning. Rocks as big as a refrigerator are being tossed up 10,000 feet high in the sky by the lava. Lava is flowing down and meeting the Pacific Ocean, polluting it, killing millions of fish, and with the sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid mixing in the ocean water would make a problem worse confounded. That was the day when this was happening, and since the whole day CNN and the CTV and CBC were busy with celebrating the life of an effete prince and the 4th lead actress of a serial, was something which was revolting. That was the time when Ebola's second attack started in Africa. And we know how dangerous Ebola is, and we didn't talk about it. Why? Why are the priorities so skewed? Why is it that the people are still enamored of the princes and the princes and their doings and their follies and stupidities and their happinesses? How do they identify? Do they think they're going to have anything? Look, the latest news, Meghan's mother has already started making money by selling the pictures and arranging the interviews with the media. Again, this is against the concept of monarchy. Monarchy would never tolerate it. But they have to tolerate it because of the changed times and the changed perceptions. And the people celebrate it. Maybe an idea comes to my mind that they are still mentally slaves. Still they are overawed by the pomp and the show. They talk of the simplicity of life. They talk of the democracy. They talk of the human rights. But the moment there's a drum beating in the fireworks, the moment there is a splash of the gold and the sheen of the silver, then they forget all talk of egalitarian society and start worshipping the prince and princesses. Howsoever rotten their life may be, and howsoever ineffective they may be in improving the lot of the people as a whole. These ideas come to me that mentally they are still slaves, they are not free. Mentally they need an anchor, and maybe time is not far off when we might see the resurgence of kings all over. Uncrowned kings are already there, like Putin, like Modi. So how about coronation of all these kings? And let's start the old system again. Awful, don't you think so? And this celebration of the marriage reminded me of the celebration of life which takes place nowadays when somebody dies. Maybe this is an insidious thought creeping in the minds of the people that this is the death of the monarchy, and this celebration of this marriage is celebration of the death of the monarchy, or a wish that the monarchy re-emerges. This is an ambiguous idea, but maybe one of these is relevant. Don't you think so? Thank you.